Are you feeling overwhelmed by what kind of content to post on your social media to attract clients to you? Well, stick around because in this video, I'm going to share with you the exact strategy that I implemented to enroll coaching clients into my programs without having to post content all the time. And honestly, before my content even got good enough to bring clients into my inbox and clicking on my links on social media. And this isn't something that has just worked for me. This is something that has worked, is working, and has continued to work for my clients and myself. So what I'm bringing to you is tried and true. Now, let me just say, this is in no way saying not to post content. I mean, I'm live on YouTube right now. But what I am saying is that there's so much that goes into creating good, valuable pieces of content that literally pulls people into your inbox and clicking on your links, trying to figure out how they can work with you. But that often takes a bit of a process to start understanding what kind of content is really going to resonate with your people. And I'm just not a believer that we got to wait until our content converts in order to make money. Because here's the thing, you already have the skill set, you already have the expertise, you have the way to help someone solve a problem, create a transformation, and relieve a pain that they're having in their life. You're already able to do that. But it's your ability to communicate that through your content is where most people get stuck and why their content doesn't convert. And as clinicians, we are trained educators. We educate the patient that's in front of us, but it doesn't mean that we are communicating with the patient that's in front of us. And let's just be honest, we could be in a room with the patient educating, but we're not really paying attention to if that person is really picking up what we're putting down. Oftentimes we're using big jargon words and we might be showing a model of a shoulder or a knee or something, and we're just blah, 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 blah. We're just talking, but it doesn't mean that they're picking it up, right? And their eyes might be glazed over, but it never mattered. Why didn't it matter? Because we were going to get paid anyways. We're going to get paid every week or every 2 weeks with our job. But when it comes to building a personal brand, when it comes to creating content online that literally compels people to click the links that you have on your socials and into your inbox on how they can work with you, that requires a different level of intention. And essentially, your content becomes marketing. And I just don't believe that we should be penalized for not knowing how to market when we already have the skill set. And so what I'm going to share with you is literally the strategy to work around that. And of course, like I said, this isn't about not posting content, but we got to figure out a way to get better at creating more valuable pieces of content that resonates with our audience and literally pulls them in. But we got to have a way to do that. And I think it's really, really important to develop the skill set of content creation. And I gotta be honest, I don't even like the word content creation or creating content, because what I truly believe is that we are message carriers. We have a message, and through that message, we have a solution for the person that we are helping. And that solves the problem. It relieves their pain, creates the transformation. And so we just have to get better at communicating that message to people, but in a way that they understand it, not in the way that we want to say it. Two things on social. There's either the way that you as the coach or you as the business owner is showing up, or you could show up as being the point of view of how your audience is viewing social media. And I actually have a drawing of this and I created a video. Maybe I'll actually post it on YouTube as a bonus piece for all of you to watch, because it really shifts your mind from being that clinician-based thinker into a marketer. And yeah, let's be real. We have to become a marketer, and that means that we have to think from the marketplace. We have to think from where our ideal client is, not think from our own brain and what we know. We are the ones that know all the details about the problem. They don't, which is why they need you. They need you because they don't know how to solve it. They've been looking for someone like you, but they're not going to be able to hear you online if you're speaking with coachy jargon, clinician jargon and using big words, trying to make yourself sound smart or trying to make yourself look like an authority rather than just speaking from your place of authority and showing how you can help them. So your ability to dumb it down, your ability to make it make sense for your audience is actually how you're going to attract clients. And so the strategy I'm going to share with you actually reminds me of when I was at a gas station once. I had a guy pull up in a van. Yeah, it sounds kind of creepy, right? But he had a decal on the side of his van and it said something like auto body shop. And he rolls down his window and he says, ma'am, ma'am. And at first I was like, I don't even want to look over there because there's a guy in a van, you know? And so I like looked up and I saw he was talking to me and he said, I can fix your car. And I was like, what are you even talking about? And he's like, the ding. And I remembered a couple years prior that somebody had like slightly dinged the side of my car to the point where the only people that would honestly notice this kind of ding, one is myself, but two, somebody who works on cars. He was just so fine-tuned to seeing what the issue was. And he's like, I've got an auto body shop like a mile down the road. And he like reaches out to give me his card and like, not to put any bad thoughts in your mind, but my first thought process was like, what if I take this card and like there's, I don't know, chloroform on it or something, and like I go in my car and I pass out. Like just the craziest things, right? And so I was like, no, I'm good, but thank you. And it dawned on me that what he was doing was collecting leads, building his audience. His shop was a mile down the road, but he was out marketing. He was out looking for his people. And where was he looking? He was looking for where his people hang out. Auto body shop guy, mechanic guy, whatever. And he's going where there are a lot of cars, but stationary cars that have to be parked up to take an action. So he has enough time to actually speak with them. Like genius, right? So what he did was he went where his people are and he just kind of positioned himself. And it dawned on me that I think I'd seen this guy at this gas station because it's one that I frequent all the time. I've seen him literally circling around the gas station and in the parking lot. And I was like, that is so smart. So the strategy I'm going to give you is exactly that. It positions you in front of your people already. Where are they hanging out? You're probably going to laugh at me when I say this, but it's Facebook. I know Instagram, TikTok, all the things are coming out, but the truth of the matter is you can easily blend in there. But inside of a Facebook group, you can stand out. And until you're really creating the content that converts, being inside of a Facebook group positions you, if you do it well, positions you as the expert, as the leader inside of your industry in front of those people. And so there are two things you're going to do. You're going to find, and then you're going to respond, and then you're going to create. So like I said, this isn't about not creating content at all. This is about enrolling clients without having to post all the time. And in the process, you're refining the kind of content that you're putting out. So you're going to find 3 to 5 Facebook groups where your people are already hanging out. That means that you have to already know the industry. You have to know the kinds of people that you might want to work with. And it doesn't need to be perfect. You don't need to be dialed into a specific niche, but where are your people hanging out? What kind of people do you want to work with? Find 3 to 5 groups as to where they are. And don't just find groups, find active groups. That's the important thing here when you're looking for a Facebook group, is to find something that's active. Are they posting multiple times per day or even just a couple times a week? And then finding a group that has 10,000 plus or more people in it, because now you can probably get your few clients from just that one group alone, right? So find 3 to 5 groups that are active. And then the second thing you're going to do is respond. You are going to look for the people that are asking questions that you can answer, and you're going to comment by answering the question. You're not going to comment and say, buy my thing. You're not going to comment and say, ooh, look at me, I have the solution, and then drop your links. We're not doing that. But what we are doing is building genuine rapport. We're building genuine trust, and we're demonstrating our expertise inside of these groups. when you respond, I want you to respond in a way that is unique, that is genuine, that is insightful, and most importantly, shifts the perspective of your ideal client. And what I mean by that is, don't just go in there and say, here's what you can do to solve that problem and give them the thing. Offer some insight, help them shift how they are viewing their problem, help them think about something differently. And this doesn't mean that you look at other people's comments and then you decide to like go completely against the grain and say something off the wall. Stick to your zone of genius, okay? Stick to your zone and stick to your expertise. Stay to your lane. Don't try to create any fluff, like hype within yourself. That's not what this is about. This is about demonstrating your ability to help somebody, but you're doing it in this group where not only are you responding to the person who asked a question, but what do we all do? We are nosy on social, right? Like we're clicking, we're checking around, we're looking at all those things. And so it's like other people are going to watch. How many times do people lurk? Let's just be real. Have you lurked on somebody? Have you stalked somebody on social where you're clicking on their name and you're going down the rabbit hole looking back at posts from like 2019 and you're like, who is this person? Well, guess what? The lurkers are clicking on your name as you make a comment inside of that group. But the people that are clicking are very likely interested in the topic in which you can help. They very likely have the problem, and you created a light bulb moment for them. And the moment you do that more and more inside of these groups where you answer questions, and no, you don't post your links. A lot of groups have like rules and stuff about that. We're not out here fishing for clients. It's not what we're doing. People just have to be able to see that you are the one to help them. And when you can kind of nestle your way inside of these comments, that's when you're going to start to have people clicking on you. You're going to pull more people to you, because the truth of the matter is, to create content for an audience and put on your social feels very different than when you are responding to questions that are already inside of a group. Sometimes when we're going to create content to our feed, we add all these filters. We're trying to make sure we get likes or comments. We're trying to make sure that we look important and look like an authority. And like we add all these filters onto our content. But when you are actually solving a problem for somebody that asks a question, there's a level of authenticity that just naturally rises. Like your goal is to serve that person, answer their question, give them a different way. Maybe you have an analogy you can use. Maybe you have a framework that you want to give away. And don't be afraid about giving away too much. Like giving away too much just kind of cuts you short, because now a person reading that comment doesn't feel fully fed by you, right? They feel like you're holding back or you're gatekeeping. And nobody wants to feel like they're holding back. So allow yourself to actually thoroughly answer the question, share what your framework might be, but it doesn't mean that that person knows how to use the framework or use the process, right? But you're provoking thought. And when you can do that, you are going to be seen as the leader. You're going to be seen as the go-to. One of my clients consistently gets tagged inside of Facebook groups from people that she's never even worked with. Like these people have never even bought from her, but she's getting tagged and she's seen as an authority. And I have many other clients that are doing the exact same thing, that they're getting tagged by people who've never worked with them, but they have been helped by her comments. They've been helped by her content. They end up following her. They've been on her email list. And so it's like they're watching. People are always watching. And guess what? You now have data, whatever you want to call it, data points, to now be able to create better content. Why? Because you know exactly what your audience is thinking. You know exactly what problems they need to be solved. And now you can frame it in a way in your content that they can resonate with. And it's going to help you take away all that coach speak, all that clinician talk. It's going to help you take all of that away. Because when we are authentically responding to someone who has a problem, who has a question, we don't respond with filters. We actually just respond in a very genuine way that allows them to see like, oh yeah, I've never thought about it like that. Oh yeah, I've never considered that before. And so we just don't have the filter. around it. We're able to actually come to the table with our way of solving the problem. Well, as a result of that, now you can take your response and their question, now go to your feed and start creating content. And your content's going to land better because you're going to develop your art of communication to deliver the message effectively in a way that they understand. Now, developing your communication along the way is definitely an art and for sure also a science, right? There are some principles in the content world to definitely go by, but the more embodied you become within your message and within your skill set, your process, and your expertise, you start to naturally find the words to say that are going to resonate. And once you can recognize that your people are here, right? Like what their top of mind surface problem is, and you're down here knowing the exact root of their cause or their exact root of their problem. Now you're like, all right, I can fill this gap right here in my communication to help meet them where they're at so that they can see that you are relevant to their problem. But sometimes we're talking so high level or so deep that your people can't resonate because they are up here. They are high level. Like it's not the thing that they're thinking about. They're like here in their thought process, and you're all the way down here in your thought process. It's deep. They just don't know that you're relevant to them yet. But using this strategy of finding the groups, positioning yourself within the groups and answering questions, you're going to naturally start to embody your expertise. I'm just looking at my notes to make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, so you want to find the groups, you want to respond, you want to engage. The other thing you can also do is create posts inside of that group. Not a buy my thing post, here's my offer, none of that. You don't need that. When people start seeing you as an authority, they start seeing you as the leader, they naturally want to buy from you without you having to say, buy from me. And so when you create posts that answer questions that maybe you see are commonly asked inside of the group, you create your own post with your own thought process. And now you're even more positioned because you are a contributor to the platform. You are a contributor to the group. We're not inside of groups to get clients. That's not how this works. We're not out here to get anybody. And let's be honest, clients don't want to be got. Like, think about how you have signed up or enrolled with people that maybe you've signed up with a coach before. Like, you didn't want anybody to get you. Like, you're not something to be got. But you might have signed up because that person served you. You might have signed up because you felt genuinely that that person really cared about solving the problem that you have, right? And so show up to the platform to serve people, not try to get something from it. This is not a platform to get something from. It's a platform to serve, and people are going to feel that. The energy of how you're showing up speaks. And that's how you're going to consistently enroll clients into your program, is because they're going to start seeing you and positioning you. And now when they click on your name and they go to your feed, they're going to start seeing content that's related to the problem that they want to solve. And so you can either send them a friend request with people that might have liked or even made a comment, send them a friend request, and don't be up in their DMs like, hey, buy my thing, I can help you. Like, continue to serve that person, right? Allow your content to get better. And then when the timing feels right, then you can potentially message that person with a very genuine, like, reach out on, hey, I just want to know where you are. I answered this question for you inside of the group. Just wanted to see how your progress was. Just wanted to see if you've been able to shift your thinking about that. Engage in a conversation. Conversations will always lead to cash flow when you know how to do it. And the way that you position yourself inside of the comment section also is thought-provoking. It allows people to, like, reframe how they're seeing the problem that they have. And that's how you build trust. Because one, you're actually helping them and serving them. And two, you are actually allowing them to see their situation differently than they did before. And when you can do that, they will bookmark you in their mind, literally open up a tab in their mind with your name on it about, this person has helped me solve a problem. They've shifted my thinking. And now it's like, well, what else do they have for this problem that I'm still dealing with? Do they actually sell something? Now they can click on you and, like, discover more of you, right? So make sure that you're serving people in the comments and inside of these groups, but that's what you're going to do to either sign your first client or consistently sign continuous clients. And then you just make better content as a result. Drop in the comments. I'd love to know how this has helped you, and I will see you all in another live stream. Bye.